Hi there. So this is my first video blog entry, so I don't have a great camera, but bear with me because today I want to talk about Mrs. Hall's letter to young girls, or I'm not actually sure what it's called, but I'll post the link below in case you haven't read it. I read it a while ago, and I don't know, just like when I was reading it, I just got that feeling, and it was just like crawling under my skin. I just kind of felt icky. That's kind of how I felt about the letter. I just thought it was icky. And it took me a while to figure out why I thought it was icky. But I guess the reason, first and foremost, the reason that I thought it was icky was that she was assuming that just any girl, any random girl off the street would give two craps about what her sons thought of them and whether they respect them or not. Mrs. Hall's letter talks about how like she noticed that her son's female friends were posting like a lot of scantily clad pictures of themselves on Facebook, and she goes on to say like you don't want my sons just to think about you in a sexual manner, do you? Like, he's seen this picture on Facebook, and like that's kind of what you're putting out there, and now like my son might only think of you in a sexual manner. And I think this is kind of icky because it kind of shifts the responsibility of her son's conduct onto the girl who's scantily clad. I know plenty of good men who can see a girl scantily clad and still think of her as a person. And if my friends can accomplish this, I don't understand why she can't. Why she can't raise her sons to do the same. Like there's enough good men out there who can look at me when I'm not wearing very much and still respect me. There's enough of those guys out there that I don't really need to care about whether her sons can look at me in any different situation, because that's not a problem on my end. That's a problem on their end. So yeah, that was kind of like the first thing I felt icky about. And the second thing was like she threatens at the end, like, well, if you don't stop doing this and like you don't start covering up, like you're no longer gonna be a part of like our household. So what? I don't care. I don't care whether like I'm a part of your household or not. That's not a huge threat. Like again, there are enough good families out there, and there are enough good men out there who can like get around the fact that somebody has a sexuality, and also look at the whole person with the sexuality. That I really don't need your family. Like I have enough confidence in myself that just because one person doesn't approve of me, like it's not going to bring my self-confidence down, it's not going to bring my self-esteem down. So I think it's kind of icky that she's encouraging girls to start caring more about what boys think, caring more about what other people think, because at the end of the day, that's probably not going to make you very happy. And I don't really like it very much. And she also calls herself a Christian woman, I believe. But I don't know, like this is a very touchy subject, but like I've read the whole Bible, New Testament, Old Testament. I've done it all like 900 bajillion gazillion pages out of it. And the one of the great things about Jesus was that he hung out with prostitutes, and he like maybe he judged them. I don't know if Jesus was capable of judging, because Jesus was God, and God judges, but whatever. Jesus hung out with prostitutes, and Jesus was able to look inside the prostitute and see the person who she was inside, and see her faith and blah 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 and all those other things that he valued. And I think kind of like part of Jesus's message was like we gotta step up, we gotta start doing that, we gotta stop judging people by what they do externally, and start acting a little more like old JC, right? Yeah, and last but not least, the last thing I found kind of icky about it was that she doesn't seem to show any empathy for the girls who are dressing scantily. You know, sometimes I'm like, I don't like to generalize, but like, you know, some girls like they're in a sexual stage of their life, so they like to dress sexually because it's like, I don't know, self-expression or whatever that is. But you know, there's in a lot of other cases, there's a lot of other issues at hand. You know, low self-confidence, and you have to ask yourself, why do these girls dress like this for more self-confidence? And I don't think that it's really a personal issue. I think it's more an issue with our society. We put a lot of pressure on girls to have, like, you know, to be sexy, to be pretty. We put, you know, we emphasize their outer appearance. And I think that just, you know, walking down the street on a normal day, you see all the advertisements, you see, you know, you look on the TV, it's very easy to understand why a lot of people are dressing like this to feel self-confident. We put so much value on the way girls dress. And I think that it's only natural that young girls are wanting to prove their worth by showing how sexy they are, because this is what we've told them. We've told them that, you know, the sexier you are, the more you're worth. So maybe instead of blaming the young girls, we should take a look at the source of the problem, and maybe put a little more responsibility on them instead of, you know, the individual who's been told that this is the only way that you're going to be worth anything in this life. That's just what I think.